she does is pull out what Jared brought and put it on the table.
Good morning.
You have to clean it.
Or maybe I'm not.
Inside at
Right.
least. 4/19.
Good morning. Welcome to our November 30th board meeting. I want to call our planning commission meeting to order and ask Craig Slay, caught you right after you sat down. Would you please pray for us?
Father, thank you for the day you've given us today. Thank you, Lord, for this place that we call home. Thank you for these men that are willing to serve, that have sacrificed their time, their effort, their energy, Lord, in serving their fellow man. Bless them for that and their families that sacrifice as well. Father, I pray that you give us wisdom today. We need wisdom from on high. Help us to use that wisdom for the benefit of every citizen of our county. Thank you, God, for how you have just so abundantly blessed our county. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. All right, we'll go right into our planning commission. I have a motion to approve our minutes from November 2nd.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, Brad makes a motion. Mr. Morrison seconds that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. New considerations.
No, we got that.
Oh, old business, sorry, skip one.
Do y'all want to review that, the old business, or are you good with that one?
I'm good with it. Do y'all have any questions on that? It's Stephen Henderson conditional use that we have discussed.
Do we need to approve?
No,
Let's
that's just
Okay,
a, it's
We'll
old
get-
business, so the public hearing's gonna be the 15th,
okay.
if y'all wanted to review it, that's the only thing.
I think we've reviewed it enough. All right. New considerations.
All right,
Oh,
the
okay,
first
Jane.
item under new considerations is a conditional use permit for M3 Land LLC on Highway 25. They're seeking the conditional use permit to mine 350 acres. The property is zoned A1 and A2. They plan to start the mining operations under a MDEQ 4-acre notice of exempt and then expand to a full mining permit. That's an aerial view of the property. And then the initial 4 acres is shown in red on this map. And it shows that the mine will be accessed by an existing easement. And the plat for the bluffs shows a plat restriction on that access easement. It says the plat restriction requires the Board of Supervisors to grant authority to use that easement for mining purposes. Okay, so these are, that's the entrance road going into the property. And then these are views from 25.
So no houses or
There's,
anything.
there are no, you're right. It's in a really rural area. However, they have got a plat for some lots, large lots. And we looked at, when they brought the same engineer that's given us the plat for the information for the mining, drew the plat with these large lots. How many acres are those, Renee?
They're large lots.
Yeah.
I don't remember
They're-
exactly how
Yeah,
big.
they're acreage, but it does have I want to say 60-foot
It does, and the easement, let's see if I can show you, is right here.
Yep, and the property owners, it's put, I mean, it's on their plat if they were to buy on either side or wherever. I don't have a problem with it. It's in the north part of the county and it has access right close to state highway for hauling material. Anyhow, it was up front with us whenever we looked at the whole picture, and I think it'll be fine.
All right, so would y'all, okay.
We will get to it on the next one, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I jumped the gun. All right, the second item is a conditional use permit for La Miracle Collier on King Collier Road, 176 King Collier Road. Ms. Collier is seeking the conditional use permit to place a 1995 14 by 56 manufactured home on a 2-acre parcel. It's zoned RE1. That's an aerial view of the property. She's applying under the hardship section of the RE1 zone. Her grandmother needs someone to help with her daily care, and a letter from her doctor is included in the application. This is her site plan. The 2 acres that her grandmother deeded her is shown here. She's showing the manufactured home will be placed here, and her grandmother has granted her an easement to cross over and get to the 2 acres.
Don't we have something in the ordinance says it got to be 20 years or newer?
Well, so 15 unless Brian goes out and looks at it and makes sure that the home is in good condition, and
Gotta be inspected.
except for, you know, in District 3, and then we do keep it to the 15 years is what we say.
This,
Except District 3, like they're special or something?
Well, that was what was decided by the board.
this is family property, and there's an easement to this lot, or 2 acres. She's went right by the book and step by step, and the hardship, I don't want to turn it down, so I want to go on to this.
You gonna approve it?
Yeah, at the next, it's set down here to be approved.
Okay. Next is a conditional use permit for Sydney Coke on Star Road. Mr. Coke is seeking the conditional use permit to construct a 60 by 78 metal building for a mechanic shop. It's a 1.12 acre parcel. The property is zoned A1.
78.
That's an aerial view of the property. Mr. Coke buys, sells, and repairs construction and forestry equipment. He works out of town 85 to 90% of the time. Equipment will be stored inside the building unless it is too large.
It's right beside the shop now.
This is a site plan showing the location of the proposed building here. The property will be accessed by an existing easement with a gravel driveway, which is here. It goes back to a cell tower in the back. The parking area will be gravel, and Mr. Coate will be the only person working in the building. He's proposing hours of operation as 8 to 5. He's wanting to make sure this use can be approved before he obtains detailed drawings. And he's here today if y'all have any questions for him. This is the entrance, or that gravel driveway going into the cell tower.
I don't have a problem. I know exactly where it is and everything. I mean, unless he just has something to add, I don't see any problem with moving forward.
All right.
Are the neighbors gonna be okay with it?
Most of them are their family.
All right, the last item under new considerations is a rezoning request by Dylan Walker on Levi Cooper Road. Mr. Walker is requesting to rezone 125 acres from A1 and A2 to RE1A. That's an aerial view of the property. He's proposing a 4-lot residential development. This is the lot layout. The smallest lot is proposed as 17 acres. RE1A allows minor subdividing with no more than 4 lots. Mr. Walker will provide a plat with a 30-foot right-of-way and a 10-foot private utility easement. He will also include a deed restriction prohibiting any further subdividing of lots without the board's approval. These are views of that property.
It has to be having access to a county road.
Dylan, you wanna say something?
These are
Yeah,
surrounded.
That's the wrong map. It's gonna be 11 acres, 8 acres.
That's what I wondered.
Excuse me, 76 and 35.
So he's saying the lot sizes will be 7, 6,
8,
oh,
76, and
30.
32.
Okay.
Hey, Dylan, did you ever get anything worked out on Star Brandon Road?
Oh, if you can come up.
Work on that road.
Okay, all right.
So these are surrounding properties. Okay.
No, no problem.
All right, move on.
So now we just need to set those public hearings, please.
All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a
to
motion to
set one
set
through 4?
Second.
1 through 4.
All right. Calhoun makes a motion, Mr. Morrison seconds it. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Site plan.
Okay, this is a site plan, architectural review for Magnolia Manor on Levi Cooper Road. Jesse Odom and Bonnie Bentley were granted a conditional use permit to operate a weddings and events venue on Levi Cooper Road in June of this year. This is their site plan. It's a 110-acre parcel. It's zoned A2. The site plan shows a 24-foot wide gravel driveway coming in from Levi Cooper. It's going to turn to concrete, or it'll be concrete in this horseshoe-shaped area up close to the building. This is the building. It's approximately the footprint of the building is approximately 3,200 square feet. The building's going to be located 726 feet off the front property line. They have their ADA parking here, and then this back area here will be a gravel parking lot for people who attend the venue. Mr. Parker reviewed the drainage plans and found it to be in order. So these are the elevations of the building. The exterior of the building will be white hardy board siding. And then this is their landscape plan. They show plantings along the front of the building. They're here today if y'all have any questions for them. And these are views of that property.
This is the same road we were just,
Levi.
That's
Cooper.
right.
okay.
Not much road.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Calhoun makes a motion to approve. Jared Morrison seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, so the next item is a sign variance review for Media Display, or Trailhead Media at 1911 Highway 471. Media Display is seeking a variance from the county's billboard ordinance for a digital billboard to be erected on the Marathon gas station property at the corner of Highway 471 and Vine Drive. The property is on C2. Our ordinance says a billboard can't be placed closer than 1,500 feet of the boundary line of any lot of a platted subdivision. This location will be approximately 500 feet to a lot in Shenandoah Estates off of Vine Drive. That's an aerial view. And then this is his site plan, if you will. He shows the sign location. If you're familiar with it, it's going to be kind of out from where the ice machine sits there on the property. And that's just a superimposed view with the sign.
Get the substation packed.
And Mr. Axley is here today if y'all have any questions for him.
It's a area that I don't think it's gonna have any effect on the subdivision with what's there. There's a convenience store, gas station, power substation. Across the road, there's another gas station, convenience store. And I don't feel like it's gonna be an obstruction, but we can ask folks for their opinion.
All right, so we've got that on Monday's
Right.
agenda
Yeah.
for the public
Okay.
hearing. This was just a review
Yes.
It's already set. It's
for,
already set for Monday.
mhm.
Okay.
Where is Mr. Axel
Yes.
here?
Right here.
I just want to put a name with a face. That's what I was trying to do. Yep.
All right.
All right, nuisance properties.
Gentlemen, the first item under nuisance consideration is the Jimmy Shed and Kathy Bone nuisance property consideration. This is 417 Pine Hill Lane. This is District 4 property. At this time, we'll open that public hearing. I'll ask Ms. Renee to demonstrate with the photos. Mr. Shed or Ms. Bone need to be prepared to step forward and address the board.
All right, so we received a complaint September 27th about rubbish, inoperable vehicles, the dilapidated fence, and someone living in a camper on this property. The certified mail was received. Kathy Bone did call in and talk to Kathy, said they had been out of town, but they would start cleaning up. These pictures were taken on the 28th. And these are the new pictures that were taken on the 29th.
The very next day?
Oh, well, this is,
Oh,
yeah, and
November-
this is the
November
video,
29th.
but we've got some pictures too, so.
There's your movie.
That's that drive-through, go on with it. Holding the camera a little steadier this time.
Looks like there's progress made, a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Our Kathy, is there more that needs to be done?
Yes, sir. Yes, there is, sir. A lot more. Probably you put,
You're
we bought the
gonna need
property.
to, you're gonna need to come
Oh, I'm
forward.
sorry.
So these are the new pictures, just to slow it down for you.
Give your name and address to the board, please.
Kathy Bone, 417 Pine Hill Lane, Brandon. Yes, sir, there's a lot more that's gotta be done. When we bought the property, I wish I had pictures of then when we bought it. We've done a good bit. And with the burn ban on and all, we wasn't able to get rid of some of the rubbish that was in it. The house was full of furniture, the refrigerators and all had been shut down, the electricity off and all, so, but we got it at a good price. We were homeless, and we bought it, and we're trying to make something of it. So, we're doing our best to get it cleaned up.
How much land do you have?
Just a little over an acre, 1.8, I believe what it is.
Okay.
0.8.
Yeah, and there's no one living in the camper. We're storing our stuff in the camper till we got the house finished to put it inside the house. But there's no one living in the camper.
Okay. Well, I would like for us to continue this and monitor it. I'm gonna say somewhere like 60 days.
Yes, sir. Well, it'll be done by then.
All right. Yeah.
We got the fence done in the front. We got it
I
up
saw
and
that.
good and
I
sturdy.
saw that.
And then we have the panels for the side and the back as well. To go ahead and redo that. So we're gonna finish that up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and
We
keep
appreciate you
keep
working at
making
it.
progress.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Mr. President, we will let the record reflect that the board's not going to take action at this time, but is instructing the Community Development Office to bring this back forward for review in 60 days, and that's how we'll handle that. We'll just show that in the minutes as how we're going to handle this, no action taken. So we'll close that hearing on the Shed and Bone nuisance property. The next item, Mr. President, is the Maria Luisa Palacios nuisance property at 138 Amanda Avenue. This is a District 1 property. At this time, we'll open that public hearing, and I'll ask Ms. Palacios or anyone representing her to be prepared to step forward, and Renee will demonstrate with the photos.
All right, so we received the complaint September 3rd about grass, dilapidated mobile home, and inoperable vehicles on this property. These pictures were taken September 5th. The certified mail was not received. We've not had any contact from the owner.
Must be a spring.
And then these are the new pictures, or the video
Underground there.
with the pictures coming up next.
Nobody's here.
Is the car gone? No, there it is.
Yeah, that's a vehicle there.
Truck. car,
Dead
van.
trees, yeah.
Is Ms. Palacios in the audience?
Anybody here? All we do is declare it a nuisance then.
Yeah. Mr. President, I don't see
But I
anyone here
got
to
an idea
speak.
if nobody's answering the mail.
Right. We'll close that public hearing. At this time, it'd be appropriate to receive any action that the board wishes.
Okay. But I'd make a motion to declare it a nuisance.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Morrison makes a motion to declare it a nuisance. Jay Bishop seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item 3, Mr. President, is the Joshua and Denisha Loya nuisance property at 109 Post Oak Drive. This is a District 5 property. At this time, we'll open that public hearing. Ms. Renee will demonstrate with the photos. Mr. or Ms. Loya need to be prepared to step forward and address the board, please.
All right, so we received a complaint November 2nd about weeds and rubbish on this property. It's in Oak Grove subdivision. These pictures were taken November 2nd. And then this is the new. The certified mail was delivered. The owner called and said that they would cut the yard and clean the property.
Is someone living there?
Yes, sir.
Were they here?
I'm not sure if any, okay, so somebody is here.
Okay.
These are the current pictures that were taken yesterday.
I think we've had this before here. Yeah.
I need you to take your mask down so that they understand what you're saying. Please give your name and address.
Joshua Loya, 109 Post Oak Drive.
Well, you understand why you're here, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make a motion to declare it a nuisance.
All right, Jay Bishop makes a motion to declare it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Calhoun seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Oh, and Craig, I left off this review. It's just a review.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Gentlemen, can we add this one item, please, to your nuisance consideration agenda, item 8.4? This is a renewal of a prior nuisance consideration, Marie Chrisman at 279 Garth Farm Road. So we'll take that matter up as a review. Go ahead, Renee.
All right, so these were the pictures that were taken back in September. This is the video. I don't think Miss Chrisman is here today. She came at the last meeting.
Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Have we made any progress that y'all can tell?
Anything that's changed?
Yeah.
Well,
My
oh, now-
recommendation is-
We gave them, what,
I-
60 days, didn't we?
Ter- I think she did cut the grass in the
Yes.
front, you know, and honestly, I think we've probably gone as far as we're gonna be able to go. Except for they could move the couch and clean up some of that stuff.
Is the house safe?
Well, you know,
We don't know.
The thing
ground-
was, the original, the daughter was gonna buy a trailer, put it in, and they were gonna tear the old house down. She's in college or whatever, and just.
That's right.
I don't know. I've never got it done, so I'm gonna declare it a nuisance.
Yep. So that'd be your motion,
Yeah,
Brad.
my motion is declared a
All right, we
nuisance.
need to add it first.
Wait, yes, go ahead. We'll motion to add this.
I make a
to-
motion to add.
Second.
All right. Brad makes a motion to add this Chrisman, property in District 3. The address was whatever you said. it was.
279 Garth Farm Road.
Add it to the agenda on the nuisance property hearings, and did I have a second?
Second.
Brad made a motion, Mr. Morrison seconds the motion. All in favor? All right, it's added now then.
I make a motion to declare it a nuisance.
Second.
All right, same way, Brad makes a motion to declare it, Mr. Morrison seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Nuisance. All right, our next meeting will be, planning meeting will be on December the 28th of 2023, which would probably be our last one for this year, at 9 a.m. We have a motion to adjourn this meeting. Jay makes a motion to adjourn. We have a second.
Second.
Brad seconds the motion. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned, and I will call our meeting of the Rankin County Board of Supervisors to order. All right. Do we have any public comments? No
think it was
public
typo.
comments. That brings Mr. Hicks.
Yes, sir. This is a timing issue, so we're asking the board to ratify Stacy McNinch to attend an online IAAO course that began Monday, goes through this weekend, and authority to pay the registration fees.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Calhoun makes a motion. Jay seconds the motion. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Additional business to be discussed.
Yes, Mr. President, I have one item that I would like to address to the board. This is not going to require any action on your part. It's informative. We received in November a notification from the State Department of Health that the Mississippi State Hospital will no longer conduct what are called initial psychiatric evaluations for court purposes. There are times when litigants are brought before the court and there is a question as to their legal competency. And so in the past, the state hospital has provided an initial evaluation to determine that an individual is capable of participating in their defense, capable of participating in litigation where they may have a constitutional right placed at jeopardy. And so we are now advised that state hospital is no longer going to conduct those initial evaluations. And so this is how they decided to message that to us. Effective today, and that was dated November the 1st, forensic services at state hospital will no longer conduct initial evaluations for competency or sanity directly. Instead, we have transitioned to a new approach in which certified evaluators financially compensated by individual counties will be responsible for conducting these evaluations. Welcome to the world of unfunded mandates.
How many counties use their services for that? Is it just us, or is there?
No, sir.
all
Up
the
to
states?
this point, the vast majority of counties have relied on the State Department of Health to provide these psychiatric evaluations in the court process. I'm not aware of precisely which other counties may avail themselves of that service or not, but I know that Rankin County has consistently availed itself of that service. They're right here.
Who made the decision?
State Department.
I mean, I know the,
Dr. Thomas Recor, MD.
okay, so it's just the state hospital
Yeah,
staff, people
the
did.
Department of Mental Health.
So you think it's
has-
a lack of funding from the state?
I'm
what
assuming
I was
that they weren't happy with their budget situation as provided by the state legislature, and they've decided to look for ways to offload expenses. And so
Yeah.
we are an easy landing place.
But they're doing a lot of work out there right now. They're constructing some new buildings and
Yep.
finally getting roofs on some of that
Right.
forever.
I think that's coming out of CapEx through the state legislature to help them with physical plant, but it's not addressed, and these are operations issues.
First time I've
Jared.
seen new stuff
Yeah.
going up out from ground up.
So I guess we can complain about it all we want, but at the end of the day, we've got to address what is in essence, what is a due process consideration. The court process can't proceed if we are in a situation where an individual litigant whose competency may be in question cannot be evaluated for purposes of the court process. So it's going to put potential, cases in jeopardy. It's going to clog up the docket for the courts. And so we do have a mechanism to deal with it. We reached out to Dave Vann at Region 8 and asked, is this a service that Region 8 can help us with? And if so, what would the arrangement need to be? So Keith and I are working with Dave now to come up with a plan to give to you guys, and we think we're pretty close to having something that y'all can work with And of course, as always, Region 8 is quickly making themselves available to help us. So we don't ever doubt that if we get into a tight, we can get help from those guys. They're always quick to respond to us, and I appreciate that very much, and thank them for that. They are not gonna let us get in a tight, and so we'll have
How's that
something.
physically gonna work? Like, will the individuals go to their facilities to be evaluated?
I think, Jay, it's gonna be case by case, and there may be situations where, I mean, if you've got an incarcerated individual, we're gonna have to deal with that through the sheriff's jail procedures.
Right.
And my suspicion is that the court is gonna be heavily involved in how that's done. You guys are not gonna be asked to come up with mechanisms to conduct the activity evaluations themselves.
Yeah.
That's gonna fall on the court and whoever the provider
We
is.
just pay for it.
And what we're trying to do now, yeah, exactly. What we're telling you guys is, we don't have anything budgeted to account for this cost.
Right.
Didn't know we needed it.
About how much is one evaluation? I mean, I imagine they're different on different cases, but
I think, isn't there a price list where they charge $2,000?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Per. Alright. Be
So
nice to know how
that
many get or committed annually.
We will be having a meeting soon with our judges, and there's several things that we need to talk to those guys about, not just this. But I intend to make it a point to ask, how many psychological evaluations are you guys called upon in your courts? What do you see? So we can give you guys
It's
some
not like they really
idea
have a
about
choice,
what
so.
we should be budgeting for. We kicked around like 50 grand as a budget number.
Yeah.
I bet that's low. That would only be 25 a year.
This is the kind of thing, though, that we consistently are seeing out of state agencies. I want to make y'all aware of it, and to the extent that as you have conversations, you can bring it up, that unfunded mandates are no fun, and that unfunded mandates make citizens of the individual counties pretty hacked, as well they
Especially
should.
With all the attention that is on mental health, to make this move with today, and I would think our state legislatures could have some say and help us with either some funding or to fund the state to where
Yep.
they will take it.
Right. Yep, that's,
All right.
I want to make sure you guys were aware of that situation. I've got a couple of matters in executive session, gentlemen, to talk to you about. We've got our property acquisition guys here to help us with some matters. Those are going to have to be discussed in executive as well, so I don't have any additional business.
All right.
Mr. President, I have one item of additional business.
Okay.
Quickly. Mr. Word will take the podium.
So on your radios that we talked about, I don't know, for the last probably 6 or 8 weeks, we have finally got the quote in from Motorola. Remember, 2 separate issues. One issue was an upgrade. That's not why we're here. This is the links that gets us to the system. There's 2 links. Each link has 1 redundant. So there's 4 radios, if you will. 3 of those radios are totally 10.7. They are done. They do not work. We got 1 link left. This quote here is to put new microwave radios at both locations, 2 of them, to put us back at 100%. It's $475,000. That's everything. That's radios, installation, engineering, the whole thing.
How old are those?
These are pretty old. I think these were originals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And this will get us up current, we'll have everything.
Right now, over the last probably 3 years, I have put brand new microwave radios on our whole ring, if you will. So those are all new.
Yeah.
These were the last 2, and I honestly didn't know that Rankin County owned those.
Where are they at?
Cato and Monterey.
Well, I'm not interested.
Sir,
That's not nothing. Not in my district.
So, but the radio tower that is in your district talks to that one. So,
Bounce off each other.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right.
it talks around a big ring and then it shoots to either one of those towers, depending on if it's running clockwise or counterclockwise.
You
It
might
shoots
have
over
a
to the
glitch
state.
sometime.
Okay, then continue.
So,
So do we need to add this item?
Well,
what we
We'll
need
do it
is,
Monday?
what we need is approval to, get the application with the Mississippi Information Wireless Network. We've got to, and they've already told us they would approve it. And all that is saying, yes, Rankin County can use the state contract. This is all under state contract. But the state, if you're gonna use it, you have to get it approved by, Miss Wynn. They have already said they would fast track it. It's not an issue at all. We're looking at 120 days is what they're telling me to get everything built in and installed. So,
what happens that destroys one of these, that we have three that,
we don't know what was going on with Cato. It was up and down for about 3 months and they could not figure it out. We really thought it was gonna be an alignment issue with the storms that we have had, because if they get off just a smidgen, it'll drop in and out. But we had that checked and that's not what it was. It was actually in the radios themselves. And the cards just kept failing. And this is an older, I can't even remember the name brand of this one right here. The last one that they sent to this company, it took them 8.5 months to get it repaired. And they're telling us that it's out of its service life and there may or may not be parts for it. So I told them to hold off
They're
on
probably
it.
robbing parts off of others to make
That's
this work
exactly
out.
what I'm thinking it is.
what avenues do we have to pay for this 400,000? I mean, you don't have that in your budget, I don't imagine.
I don't have quite that much.
This is gonna be general county funds.
We'll take it out of his salary.
After,
He's retired.
I think they retired.
That'll cut my salary 50%, sir. I'm legitimately, I'm making just under $1 million a year. So it is this is truly a critical
so
piece
what
of
you
infrastructure.
need us to
Add
do
it or-
is to say,
Y'all
proceed.
can add it, you can do it Monday. That's
All right,
totally
I
up
make
to
a motion
y'all.
to add the item to the agenda.
All right,
I'll second it.
Jay makes a motion to add, Calhoun seconds, all in favor? Motion passes, to add.
No, it's add, now we'll pass it.
Well, are we approving or are we approving him to go forward?
I think we just need to go move forward so we can go get the parts ordered.
Yeah.
You're authorizing Keith or Steve to execute whatever agreements need to be executed to start the process of repair.
$400,000.
And authorizing issuance of a check upon receipt of an appropriate invoice.
I'll make,
All right,
go
you
ahead and
got
make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
All right, Calhoun makes a motion, just as, Craig Slade stated, and Mr. Morrison seconds that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Now then, any other additional business?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll make a
we have-
motion to discuss the need to go into executive session.
Second.
all right, Jay makes a motion to discuss the need going executive, and Mr. Morrison seconds that motion. All in favor? Aye. Motion
So what are we doing
passes.
for?
Litigation, property acquisition.
All right, I make a motion to go into executive session for those two things.
Jay makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Morrison seconds motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. We are in executive.